Everybody, welcome to Mystics MMOs. I'm your host, Mystic Raven. How are y'all doing today? 5 days. Five days away. I am pumped. I am like super ecstatic. I need to go get that buff. I'm going to be finishing up my white mage today. So that's the plan. Then the next 2 days... next 2 days, I'm going to be tackling a little bit of my harvesting and some of my Dragoon. I think I can get Dragoon maybe to like 66 or something. So I'm looking forward to it. So, and then I think the last day I might do level 70 farm. Like last 2 days, I might just farm up stuff that I don't waste my rest XP. So I can do like level 70 content on like level 70s. I'm not going to gain XP on level 70s. So if I want to farm anything, I can do that in those days. It's not a bad idea, but definitely stay away from utilizing my rest XP. All right. All right. We want to go with... Now I'm going to tell you guys that this buff is going to come in handy also with Shadowbringers a lot, because it's going to give you a huge, and I mean a huge boost. So we're going to execute this action. And then I'm going to also execute my Earth and Water too, since I'm going to be harvesting today. Trying to get that up there. Make sure we got... Yep, we're good. It says it needs DPS. But... We're gonna level the healer today. Typically, I would take the advantage of that, put my Dragoon in there, but honestly, I really do want to finish getting this healer up. I have a lot to do today. I've got a lot. I'm gonna be quite busy, to say the least. First, I'm gonna check out my... Yeah, we got enough bait. Trying to... No, I'll go over here, see if I can catch anything else. I'm also going to be getting rid of a lot of my previous bait. They got bait coming out for fishers that are like, instead of carrying like 5 baits, it'll like do a group of level of fishes for old content, which I am like so grateful for that. Like a lot, actually. All right. Now I'm not going to pop a... And that's why I'm not popping a scroll. I was about to say, I'm not going to pop a scroll because usually I get my Qs pretty fast on healer. Now, going forward, I want 1 DPS, 1 tank, 1 healer that I'm going to probably utilize more. I mean, I will level things up between content, but for my end game, I'm trying to find, a guild. I know Mark said he's going to get a hold of me, if their guild's looking, but I want to get towards end game for sure. Why isn't that mouse over working? I'm gonna have to check that. Something's up with that mouse over. Now, as healers, we got a lot of changes that's going to be taking place. So just a heads up, healers are definitely going to be seeing a lot of changes coming up. I really do wish White Mage would have got a little bit more that wasn't good. Hold on. Or not. That's a good place for that ice, I think. Hell yeah! GG. I'll give it to the machinist. Sure, sure. As long as somebody gets a accommodation. Looks good. Looks good. All right. I'm gonna clear that one out. A lot of DPS today. Whoa, what is all this? Oh, my nose. Yeah, that one's gonna hurt. Come on. Get out, get out. Ah. He's got him turned towards us. Got it. Ah. I'm still getting shocked. All right. See where we're at. All right. no, man. Oh, no. No, 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 no. I'm going to drop group. I might be dropping group here. He's gonna kill my resources. Please. Good luck. I'm out. Actually, I'll just wait till they kick me. This is exactly what I'm glad these changes are taking place, because these people don't understand their functionality. Grit reduces the damage they take. It's just the way it goes. It's a mitigation. That's like Dark Knights don't have traditional stance. And better get used to it after 5.0. Nope. Just leave. Yo, Drew, what's up? I've always built for endgame as a tank. And any decent endgame tank in any goddamn game is going to tell you one thing matters above all: mitigation. Just plain and simple. And that's one thing, like, a lot of games that you go to, they don't understand how mitigation works. That's the problem. That's how you can tell if you have a good tank versus just trash, or people who don't understand tanking, period. And mitigation is important for two reasons. In any game, I don't care what game you play. I don't care if you play, Sprinkle Dust, Fairy Winks. I don't care what you play. I don't care if you play, Mario Online. I don't care what game it is. I don't care. If there's a tank, you want this. See? Grit reduces damage taken by 20% while reducing damage dealt. But it also increases threat generation. Okay. Threat generation, that's why they're getting rid of like the tank stance dancing. Because tanks will like, oh, I want to deal damage. They're like, we deal more damage. No, they don't actually. It's just been implemented into it without like having to switch out. So they're not dealing more damage. It's just like the 10 levels everybody's going to increase, but it's just like you don't have to be dumb anymore. Okay? You don't have to be stupid. Okay? They simplified it for you dumbasses. Because mitigation is important. You want to reduce the damage, but unfortunately, they've taken away this 20% to keep healers busy. So all it does now is increase threat gen. That's the new stance. That's all it does coming up. Why? Because they want to keep healers busy. Healers are saying it's boring, it's boring, it's boring. So they're like, okay, we'll take away the reduction, right? We'll take away the protect. That's 3%. And we're going to take away this, what was the other ability we were getting? Like some of the shared abilities. I forget the one that they took away. But basically everything that's been set forward is based on tanks reducing mitigation. But mitigation is important. So what this does, what Grit does is reduces damage taken. But the most important part, even if they don't have the 20%, you want to increase what? Threat generation. Right? So you're increasing your threat gen. That keeps adds and bosses off of healers. So threat gen isn't prioritized to tanks. It's never been prioritized to tanks. It's always prioritized to heal. So the initial threat doesn't come from any damage or any threat. It comes from the healing aspect of every MMO. So as soon as a healer throws a heal, the targets say, this is the threat. It's just like PvP. Who's the first person you take out? You take out the healer. But when a tank goes in, all of a sudden he generates enmity in this game, threat or aggro in other games. When you generate the threat, all of a sudden it pulls the attention away from the healer or high-end DPS. And tanks will sometimes lose aggro. All of a sudden they pull so much, they're not putting up mitigating effects. And then all of a sudden what happens? It's all about the DPS. No, because you're going to die, and now your healer is spamming heals to keep you alive. And what happens to that resource? It gets, buried. So that's why I always tell people, you can always tell a good tank about resource management. Deacon, what's up? Hi, Mystic. Did you see that character sheet picture I sent you? I haven't been on my PlayStation in a couple days, Deacon, so I have to take a look. When am I coming back to ESO? It depends, man. If I go back, it'll probably be for PvP, but update 24. I actually logged in last night. I was bouncing around. Yesterday I was bouncing around. I posted my video. Last night I wanted to see, if there was any, streamers I was familiar with, or I was, wanted just to go in and say hi, wish them the best. And there wasn't, but I'm just pumping around each channel because I don't know any of these. And there were like this group of people that were new to Elder Scrolls, and I actually went ahead, logged on, and crafted them gear on my PC. So I crafted them some gear because they're new. They don't have traits learned. They're going straight into PvP. So I was like, okay, yeah, I'll hook you up. And they're like, oh, do you not? I'm like, I don't need anything. I don't play this game hardly at all. The first time I logged in months. So, yeah, no problem. Don't owe me a thing. So, I did that last night for some people. But, after update 24, if it's running, but, I was checking out even some of the latency. And latency wasn't awful, but it wasn't where I expect it to be. And until I start seeing that expectation of where it should be for its requirements, I'm not playing the game. And I'm going to be a stickler about it. I don't care about bugs, but I do give a shit about performance. So bugs can be taken care of long term or short term, But performance is something that always has to be a priority, because without performance, your fucking shit turns into what the shit fest that ESO is currently. So that should have been priority number one, but whatever. No, update 24 is in January, Drew. That's a half a year away. So, yeah. So I won't be I literally will not be on Elder Scrolls at least for 6 months at least. And I'm fine with that cuz I'm in a good game. So I'm actually more than fine with it. But yeah. So there's a lot of people that just like, I tanked some of the hardest raids in God forever. Like I did I DPS and I tanked HKs in Rift, and then in fucking what's that one dungeon or one raid after that we had but it's starts with an M, I forget. And then even up to River of Souls and stuff, I did all those, the old River of Souls, Great Scout Blight, all the way up to like the long end raids, Molten Core, AQ, Nax, Nixium's Lair. I tanked all those. Karazhan, I did not tank. I actually ended up going healer that expansion. And then I went back and tank in Wrath of the Lich King, except I wasn't on a warrior. I was with bear tank. So, and the funny thing about it is, that everybody be like, "Oh, what makes you a good end game tank?" Like other players who wanted. I'm like, mitigation, motherfucker. They're like, should it be about damage? I'm like, damage what? I'm at the lowest end of the totem pole regardless, besides the healer. And I'm like, but if I get hit and there's no recovery point, like in this game they call them shield breakers, but it's just like, there's phases. I can't pull the boss away, because if I kite the boss into the group, they're dead. There's certain things I can get away with, certain things I can't as a tank. If I turn the boss and it faces the group, they're dead. That cleave's gonna fucking kill them. So I have to take the hit. I have to be able to know how much health I have, how much damage is coming in, and how much I'm gonna have to mitigate. Even with abilities, I have to, in recovery, I have to know why, because that healer is going to have to let that damage apply, even if they throw a shield. Let's say a healer throws a shield ability. A good code will have bleed over, so that shield's not absorbing if it's done right. In ESO, it's not, but if a code is done right, it's gonna absorb the X amount of damage and apply the rest. And I've got to anticipate that. So mitigation is number one key for any tank. That's what you are. You're a fucking tank. You're not a DPS. You're not posing as a DPS. If you want to fucking get into hard modes, you better start fucking mitigating. How shields work for tanks. Shields on tanks typically scale health. They don't scale another stat. They scale health on tanks. That's why you fucking want your health, or that contributing stat, to be pretty damn fucking high. Why? So you have a higher scale towards mitigation. And I tell people, man, why in the fuck are you trying to? You're going to be fine until you hit this boss, and then guess what's going to happen? He's going to one-shot you, because you can't avoid that. You can't. You're a tank. You ain't avoiding shit. You're taking that hit, and then you're going to fall down. Well, I'll throw an effect. Yeah. And if your healer does it, and you will have like a breath of a hair, and if the healer misses a second, your entire party wipes, and guess who gets the blame? The healer. The healer's going to get the blame. When it was your fault, because you could have had a 20% difference in your health. You could have been fine to take another 2 hits after that phase. had you been built right. What's the hardest content in this game? Extremes, raids, raid extremes. Like the next one we'll have is Savage. Like we'll have extreme trials and Savage. And Savages are hard, but it's not part of your progression system. Like in World of Warcraft, like I haven't played WoW, so it used to be trials was the only way to progress. I don't know if that's the case anymore, but you would do the content because you wanted your best in slot. And in this game, your best in slot is achievable without doing that. But you get titles. It's like WoW. I mean, like ESO. You can do for titles and fluff if you want to. Ponies. So instead of skins, we get ponies here. That's what it is. But as far as your progression, you're not limited. Like ESO went with perfect gear for like your hard modes. Well, and especially like if you want your weapons, like your Maelstrom or master weapons or whatever, you have to do it on bet. You don't have an option. There's not even a lesser version, right? Except in, Clockwork. But if you want to get like the next tier up, or that slight like 2%, it's like 1.52% DPS difference. So if you want that extra little oomph to it, you go and you do that, right? In ESO. Plus then you get the fluff. In this game, it's kind of the same thing in like that context. Like if you want, you're not increasing. Like Omega, for example, drops 400, but you get 400 gear, but it's not upgradable, I don't think. But the raid gear isn't upgradable either. But your tombstone gear is upgradable to 400. And then you can get a score, I think a 405 currently, I want to say, is top end gear score. And then it should move up to, I'm saying it's going to be like a 450. I'm anticipating a 450, 500 gear score, like with the new raid. So we'll get gear score increase from 60 to 70, and it should be in increments of like 10, I want to say, per every 2. So I'm anticipating we're going to have like a 50 increase to max gear score. But then the next raid's going to come out, so we get raid increases. So all of a sudden we'll see one raid come out. We'll see in like 2 weeks extreme or savage. Then we'll see another month and a half, 2 months, because there's window lockout. So in 2 months we'll get the next tier raid, and another couple months down the line we'll get the third tier raid. So that's how it keeps going in this game. Every so many months they'll increase our progression. Extremes depends. Like I haven't done pre-mage yet, but pugs, they are insanely hard because people aren't coordinated. I've tried to do a couple extreme runs on pugs, and they are insanely hard with pugs. But if you get good pre-mades and you're on voice comms and you coordinate through the mechanics, no problem. Shouldn't have a problem as long as everybody, because you can't get in there until you have a gear score. So we're locked to gear score, right? Like in WoW, you couldn't enter a raid unless you had a gear score. It's not like ESO. ESO, that's why I say ESO's Care Bear shit. And certain people can't pick up mechanics, so I shouldn't say it's all like a walk in the park. I'm just saying there's a degree of difficulty to learn the mechanics, right? Once you learn the mechanics, it's all about coordination with your team. Gear score has to be present, right? And, your synergies, or, how well you're stacking and keeping your uptime. So it should be manageable, like for most raiding guilds to progress. But in pugs, absolutely difficult. Why? Because you're not in voice comms. You're not calmed up. Somebody's not positioned where they need to be. If a healer wipes, all of a sudden your tank's and put in a compromised position. If that tank drops, the off tank tries to pick up. If the off tank is on ads and you don't have another off tank position, it's going to be a wipe. So that's in any raid scenario. That's commonly associated. That's why comms are so important in those scenarios. If you're going to do an extreme or a savage, if you're going to do the hardest mode in any game, you want comms, you want communication, you want voice comms. But once again, I mean, and then rotation in this, the rotation's not hard, but weaving the abilities or macroing the abilities between the global cooldown needs to be kind of put in place in a right order, because that can script your rotation. It's everything off the global cooldown that needs to be put into position to keep rotation at maximum capability. So, which I don't find really too difficult, but I can see where some people struggle trying to get the abilities in between the long combinations. But you can literally set it up where it's more effective depending on your playstyle. That's why, Mark's going to get a hold of me because his guild might be pulling me in, but I might have to rebuild a new tune for that. He's going to get a hold of me. There's also another person who's talking to me about going to their guild, because I want to get to endgame. I just don't want to be a dick about it. Scott, what's up, dude? Yeah, I'm doing well. How are you been, brother? They got you work. How's work been since you went back? Did it burn down when you were gone? The extremes are pretty hard, though. I mean, for a pug, absolutely. For pugs, it is insanely a bitch. Extremes and Slayers can be a bitch for pugs because they'll miss something. They'll miss a mechanic. If you miss a mechanic, you're dead. In this game, it's not forgiving. It's not forgiving if you miss mechanics. You're dead. It's a wipe. That's the problem. You don't get in something that's going to whittle you down to a point where you're going to wipe from the mechanics as in an overall, there are some, but majority of the time, like Ifrit, the healer actually needs to look for a debuff and he needs to pull away from the group, right? Because if he doesn't, he literally is going to kill the group if he's not pulled away from him. And the tank literally has to position him in a very, very specific spot at all times because of his AoE effects. Coming in. And then there's the nails. And DPS has to be aware of, putting down the nails in a certain order, because if they don't, then they're not maximizing the DPS on each nail to get it down timely. So if you spread them out, it's taking longer for everybody to get one nail down when they can stack the damage and move, stack the damage and move, stack the damage and move, stack the damage and move. So then that can cause a wipe. That's an instant wipe. So you still there, Scott? How's the work going, brother? I have 25k health, 35k stam, 1k stam regen, 4k weapon damage, 27k. Everything looks good except the regen. Can you get away with? Work's been about the same. Oh, well, that's because you the man, Scott. So, all right. So I got a couple of that. Is my 10 more minutes. I got 10 minutes. I bailed on somebody because they didn't put grid up. I'm like, yo, put your fucking. I know the grit's going. Like that 20%'s gonna be gone. I know that. That's the principle, man. Get the aggro. I don't give a fuck really about healing, but I don't want shit peeling. And I hate shit tanks. I hate shit healers. I hate shit players. I hate shitty players. They don't understand. Like, they're fucking selfish. Like, as a tank, I don't pull that bullshit. I switch when I know I have aggro or I'm capable of dropping it depending on the healer's capability. I'm not making it harder for my party. And I don't think a lot of people can appreciate that. Like when I went in Elder Scrolls, it was funny because you see these tanks rocking medium armor and they think damage is important, and then you see these poor fucking healers just they fucking die. And they're like, I do vet raids or vet trials, and you know, look at this, I have my tile. I'm like, you're fucking costing. You have two healers here, or you got people throwing vigor and whatever else have you. When you're in a vet DLC, you only have 4 people. You got smoked because you're not built to be here. You're not built to take this on. You're not. I hate to tell you that. I hate to bust your fucking bubble, but you suck. You're actually a sucky player. To adapt to one scenario isn't to think that applies to every scenario or every situation. Tanks have to be adaptive to, say, like off tank. Like if I'm in an off tank, I don't give a shit about mitigation as much. I give a shit about contributing debuffs and damage. I'm an off tank. The only person who should be worried about full end up mitigation is main tank. They should worry about aggro and mitigation. They're two primary things to be concerned about, not DP fucking S. That should be off tank. Off tank should be like, I don't want to pull aggro from the main tank, and I want to contribute as much more DPS as possible. That's an off. Or when ads pop in, throw up the, any aggro effects to AoE to pull the mobs off the healers and the DPS. Why? Because I can take more of a beating. I want to take them off to the side so DPS can focus this down, and then we can focus on the boss. But you only have a certain window of opportunity to get it down before another phase hits. That's the secret to raiding. Once again, any mechanic could change, in every raid, but typically the fundamentals don't. Fundamentally, the Holy Trinity has the checks and balances applied. And that's like main tank, mitigation, aggro. Off tank, DPS, aggro. Right? To ads, to pull. And then you have healers, main tank healer. Doesn't give a shit about the group. If they fucking drop, let them die. That main healer is focused on the main tank. The secondary healer focus party. That's what goes down. That's the order of shit. That's how it operates. Support keeps their uptimes high for selfish and DPS, and selfish and DPS usually keeps the DPS applied unless they have to play mechanic, and then mechanic gets applied to DPS primarily because the healer can't pull, the tanks can't pull. They're fixated on their job, so any other mechanic that has to be operated between the phases has to be done typically by the DPS or support DPS. I'm also using Psijic Order skill Meditate, which I get. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I can see that. I was PvPing last night, full server, huge battles. It was amazing. Not being able to see what killed me. Yeah, I actually logged on PC yesterday and I helped out some new streamer. Well, it's a girl, but she had a group there, so I'm popping in and out. Now let me explain. And they're like level 10 going into Battlegrounds, which was cool. I actually admire it because this dude is talking. He's like, okay, he's like coming up with this guild plan. All right, you take care, Deacon. Thank you for stopping in, brother. Make sure you kill a lot of people with that build. So all of a sudden I'm like, and they have this game plan, and I'm thinking, this actually sounds cool what this dude's talking about. So I pop in, I give a little, I'm like, are you gonna do? He's like, well, da da da. And I was like, okay, I didn't want it to get out that I did it because whatever. So all of a sudden I go in and I craft them gear, and I just give them a couple pointers. I'm like, you guys will be fine. You guys will be more than fine. They were there were a great group, man. It was really cool watching them. And she's cool. She's cool. And the guys were amazing. So, really good group. They'll be fine. They'll do good shit. I was Nightblade PvP healing. Oh, was you? Shut up. There was like me and 3 other guys against maybe 10 guys. We wiped the group by by me just healing the guards at the front door. I love Nightblade healing. Nightblade healing was my favorite in Elder Scrolls. To this day, it was my favorite healer in any scenario, PvE and PvP. I really enjoyed Nightblade. That was my speciality. That if I had to pick one thing I excelled at, I would tell everybody, I was the best at in ESO was Nightblade healing. Because I did it. I loved it. I lived and died for it. Anything that I could do Nightblade healing on, I did it. I loved it so much. If you like it, do it, brother. If you like it, share it. Somebody might enjoy that a lot. And it gets people thinking, man, That's not a bad thing. So if somebody adapts something, at least they got the idea from you. It's all about inspiring each other. That's what I like to think. No, we should try to inspire each other. Yeah, the one thing I can say, I never missed raiding in WoW. Never. I did it for 2 expansions. And I did, I went back. My friend got me back in Cataclysm for a second. But it was long gone after that. But, I raided since the first days of WoW. I raided in EverQuest. EverQuest raid was a little bit crazy. Do you know you have to be in combat for transmutation or proc? Yeah. Should have been that way. It's been that way for a little while now. They used to spam it and just proc it, and I think they changed that Jesus, about a year ago, I want to say now. But if you just do a light attack, you'll hit combat. If you're in a party member and they hit somebody, you'll be in combat. So you can't do it as a preset anymore. You used to be able to, but not anymore. But it stacks well with Troll King too. Doesn't specify. I tried to proc it out. Yeah. I thought it was in a patch note somewhere though, if I remember right. I think it was in patch notes a year ago almost. You might want to take a look, but I could have swore they changed that a year ago. But it doesn't take anything to get in combat. That's why it didn't bother me. I was like, whatever. You just can't preset anymore. Ooh, whip-de fucking do. I remember when Transmutation first came out was shitball. It was a complete shitball set. The amount of fucking resistance you got was pathetic. It had a cooldown initially, too. I was like, fuck that. Like, this all sucks. I mean, my rest XP. I was using it, but that set is too original and ordinary for me, right? It's pretty killer, though. Up. Alright. Let me see what we got. Okay, we're good. I just gotta switch. Like, actually, I feel somewhat bad that I'm a dick. But then there's times that I just don't care that I'm a dick. Like, I don't know if I can get in. I mean, I could hold off for this for a second. Like, say I go to high end. I can go to the Great Hunt. This is a high end one, limited time. It's got a 9-minute. We'll see. But, like, these fuckers are hard. I need to farm this for the mount. But extremes and pugs, like, we could wipe. Pugging in this game, man, is brutal in extremes and slayers. It's brutal. Unless people know the mechanics, it's not a very forgiving thing. But you do it for the ponies. You do it for the fluff. That's what you do it for. It's like, you know, do I need to do it for progression? No. Do you want the title and fluff that's associated? Yeah, potentially. Yeah, if you want to do it. You know, that's it becomes an optional thing. Something to push for, another incentive, but it's not a requirement. It's not a roadblock. I like games that do that. I like games that incentivizes it, but doesn't require it. Because at the end, you want players to experience the content. You don't want to hold them back. You want things to be challenging, but at the same time, you don't want to hold up players. Because listen, when players get frustrated, what do? They leave. If things start getting toxic, what do? They leave, or they don't play that content. So you want players to be able to challenge themselves through content, learn it, the mechanics, and complete it. And then you make a harder version of it. Why? So now there's a little incentive to say, oh, I did it. Now I have it. Now if you're into fluff, cool, excellent, great. You know, it's something to push for. That's awesome. You know, have at it. But the thing about it is, like, at one time, games were toxic. I was one of those gamers. I'm running Bright Throat and one more set. I'm keeping it on the DL. Oh, got you. Bright Throat set is amazing. I would say the best Magicka set for anybody who's not a pet user. Nice. Nice. Yeah, like, I honestly hated the games that... And most of the games I played in the past were like that, where you could only get so far without raiding. Like, you hit the roadblock, and you'll never get your best in slot. Because you're not a raider. You know, there's nothing you could do. You know, in ESO, that's why I keep saying that people could come, you know, say, well, perfect would kind of give you a best in slot. Well, it would if it would apply to... like, for example, if one set applied to all magic DPS, I could see that. But if you take a blade, a mage blade, and a Magsork, and you put them in the same set, do you get the same effects? No. Because of the passives. It's not necessary. You can line them even up with the same abilities, right? And you're not going to get the same effect. Because you put them in the same set, even with the same abilities, it's their passives that make them innately different. And because of that, there's these... once again, you have diminishing returns and then indifferent values. So the set that could maximize for the Sork isn't potentially the set that maximizes for the Nightblade. Or vice versa. Is what I'm trying to say. Because of passives. So that's why Munduses are important, secondary sets, monster sets. There's no best in slot for all mag tunes or all stamp tunes because of their innate passives. Instead, what you have is a community who will put all the classes in one set up, and then they say this class isn't functioning as well. It's because you're trying to build them the same, and they're not meant to be. That's your stupidity, not the games or the developers. That's your inability to count. So in this game, we don't have that. In World of Warcraft, you don't have that. You have sets made by the devs for the classes because it does maximize that class's function because it's a statistical boost, not an indifferent value. So, and that's why I like open-ended games. That's why I stayed with ESO for as long as I did. It wasn't due to the content. Let's be honest here. I didn't stay with ESO because it was the goddamn best content I've ever played. No. It was the ability to show how to accomplish maximum DPS efforts without being required to go to the extent of acquiring said weapon, set, or anything. To say you can maximize stats with these other setups based on its passives or its job. And that's why I stayed with ESO. That's why. It was like I was like a kid at a candy store. There were so many options for me. I couldn't just choose one. I could do multiple things and make them all viable. Make them all functional, make them all relatedly fit their function and purpose. And that's what I did. And I loved it for that. That's why I loved ESO. It wasn't because the content was the goddamn best. I mean, it's good. I'm not saying it's bad. Don't get me wrong. I'm not ragging on ESO content. I'm saying, like, when it comparison to a raid game, did I ever take ESO serious as a raid game or want to push myself to that level? Well, 2 reasons no for the answer no. One reason no was I couldn't take it serious. There was no incentive. Like, if you can farm your entire set in a day, how can I take this raid serious or trial serious? I mean, it's really not. It's a joke. It's like, yeah, I can farm it in a day if I want it. Okay, so why is this so super uber duber duber like elite party favors? Second, the players trying to be toxic was just completely annoying. I don't mind obnoxious people. I actually prefer obnoxious people. Like, I really do. I mean, I know that sounds weird, but I prefer obnoxious people. I do. Because usually the conversations get entertaining between one obnoxious person to another. I myself can be obnoxious as hell. I have no problem saying that. So when you put 2 people with, like, you should see it. It's entertaining. It just is. Even from a spectator or a person, 2 people. When you get 2 people who are very obnoxious together, the conversations go to a whole new level, especially when it comes to debating and whatever. So I like it because it challenges the viewpoints. So I like it. That's why I do. A lot of people might not agree, but I do. So, but unfortunately, I didn't get the same entertainment from the ESO community. Like, literally, it's like I could have an argument with somebody who was obnoxious and get some sort of, like, what is it? Like, satisfaction out of the conversation. A sense of, purpose of the conversation. But when you literally are talking to people who don't understand the simplistic elements of what's being proposed in the conversation, you're almost like, why am I even fucking here? Like, you guys are complete fucking idiots. Like, you're trying to even be obnoxious and you can't. You can't even be obnoxious. I want you to be obnoxious. I want you to be, like, completely full of yourself. And unfortunately, I can't take you fucking serious enough to even say you are obnoxious. So, unfortunate. So, yeah. I would say that as well. That it was something else, to say the least. So when it comes back to a linear game, and I'm going to stress this, when it comes back to a linear game, I would say a linear game has to be a little bit more. Why is it toxic? Why were WoW players toxic? Why was Rift players toxic? Why were Raiders toxic? Because you get one run a week. One. Uno. And to get to that, you had requirements to meet that raid. Now, I love the fact that Final Fantasy has a normal and an extreme or a Slayer version of these. I find it refreshing. Why? Because it's just incentivizing. It doesn't have to get toxic. That's why the community's not divided. It's like, do you want to go for a pony runs? Oh yeah, cool. Okay, yeah, you need that pony? We'll help you out. Yeah, sure. Our guild will help you. It's kind of like, okay. Well, you know how the mechanic was like this on normal, right? Okay, yeah. So there's going to be a new mechanic in between these phases. So all we're doing is just switching this little part up. It just switches up this part in a little phase. So everybody who's done the raid, who has done it, has familiarity with the base functionality of it. So it's still weekly lockout, but it doesn't have to be toxic. Now, World of Warcraft didn't matter. World of Warcraft, guess what? Meet the requirements, get your gear score, get in, and get ready to get your ass slaughtered. And no, you can't come here because we are the chosen ones and you are the peasants. And it's like, okay, I understand that, but I think, and I wanted to say that everybody could learn it, but there are some people who are not meant to raid. They are meant to do other things in MMOs, and that's fine. That's fine. Not everybody likes raiding, and they should. I completely respect that. But some people are not meant to be raiders. They're just not. And that's far few in between. That's not a large party. That's a very small group that doesn't like it. They feel pressured. They feel, and it shows. It shows when they're in there. I want to think that anybody who plays an MMO can learn. So I'm not saying they're not capable of learning the mechanics. I'm saying they're so stressed by the condition and the environment they're put in. The anxiety limits their ability to learn the mechanics at a normal pace. We all die. The top end raiders of any game have croaked. I promise you. Everybody has died. But once again, some people just don't like the pressure. They just don't like that pressure feel. And that's why I'm saying not everybody's meant for it. It's not because it's super duper hard and, oh my God, you can never be on this level. That's not the case. Some people just don't like that type of pressure. To each their own. To each their own. And it should be respected. So I've never had an elite attitude to say, you're not worth this. You're not even worth trying to take in. My attitude was like, what do you think you have to do to get here? Because that misconception leads to also toxicity. And that's what made me a toxic player. People believing they knew what was lying ahead of them. And I'm like, no. See, that's the thing. You don't respect it. And you're going to fail because of that. It's not just about A and B. You have to understand that your party, even if you know the mechanics perfectly, one person in your party fucks up, you could literally, it could cause like a domino effect where everything falls because of one piece being knocked over. It's just the way it is. And I'm like, in that, you have to have respect for that. When you're slotting in people for endgame progression, you, like in this game, I've seen wipes. Like on some easiest bosses I've never wiped on. And then turn around, and then there's been other groups where it gone without a hiccup. Every mechanic was hit. You didn't even know that you actually did a raid. It didn't even feel like a raid. You're like, I just did a raid? Yeah. Everybody hit every mechanic on point. And that comes with experience. That's all it is. They're not elite because of, their sets and their rotation as much as they are with experience. Rotation is a part of it, and acquiring your sets is a part of it, but your experience is by going out and doing in life. It's in anything in life. We gain through our experiences. I'm sorry, I talk too much. But yeah, so I'm actually not. I'm never wanting to go back to World of Warcraft's old rating system, spend 6 hours raiding, and then have 4 or 5 pieces drop, and then 40 people fighting over who's getting what pieces. By the way, one of the reasons I main tank, because every tank piece that ever dropped, prioritized to me. I was always decked out my gear first. One of the perks of being a main tank. Waiting for this queue. Yeah, I'm not going to go back probably to ESO for at least till January as update 24. And I think after that I'll check it out, and I'll make the determining factor if it's worth me paying for. I mean, if they do it right, I'll buy the expansion. I'll buy the new chapter. I'll resub. I'll restream it. But I'm not going to do it otherwise. I find it almost pointless in any other scenario to go back. That's another thing. Like, if I went into PvP right now, how much you guys want to bet? Like, I'd have a bar swap issue, or ability not fire, or a delay on my ultimate, or something else. And that's the point. Like, the more I do it and the more I see the problems, the more pissed I get. And I don't want to be that person. That's why I said, like, just let it go, man. Let me determine when I come back. Because the more people hound me about ESO, the more I'm pissed that people don't see what the fuck's going on in ESO. And then I have to, like, sit there and, like, shove it down in your throat. Like, this is why people are quitting. This is why it's dropping in Twitch. This is why it's sucking. It's not because of PvP. It's not because of it's because of this. And that's why I tell people, just let me go, man. Let me go. I'll determine when ESO is worthy. And if people want to play it, that's their prerogative. I honestly think that. I honestly believe if people want to continue playing a game, that's fine. Have at it. You know, but don't sit there and white knight things. That's all I'm asking people to do. I love the game. I think what it represents is amazing. There could be some things that they over there could do better from multiple angles, but nothing's perfect, you know. Nothing is. But at the same time, yeah. Whatever's whatever. Look, 1,406,666. Blah, 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 blah. Quick catch the fish. I really hope they do. I'm enjoying PvP so much. I would love to group up and do some sieging. Right. Absolutely. And that's the thing I loved about that game. Like, a lot of people want to, like, you know, do, like, upload videos and clips and stuff. But I love the game for its siege. Like, big, huge battles. Fort keeps getting knocked down. Fucking oil everywhere, ballistas flying at you, people, you know, like hugging walls, and it takes me back to those days, tower climbing. That's what I like in siege warfare. It's just utter fucking chaos on a large scale battle. It's amazing, and bringing Matt in for that alone was well worth every penny that Zoss paid for Matt. Every fucking cent was worth it just to get Matt, because Matt was renowned for that. Matt and Mark were. Mark's working on a new siege game. Matt and Mark were siege masters. Siege fucking masters. And that's what I enjoy. I loved it. But then all of a sudden, Battlegrounds, I think they did a pretty damn good job with the BG system. So like I said, fundamentally, it has everything a PvPer wants, everything you would dream of. And that's why I enjoyed it. I didn't enjoy it for the PvE. PvE I did because, like, I wanted to help players out with these off-the-wall builds that just work. Say, you know what, stop listening to these dumb fucks. And I play them. That's what I did. And if I was with my guild, they'd be like, hey, you want to go on a trial run? Who's going with us? Yeah, sure. You know, okay. Hey, you want to go on a Dragon Star Arena run? Yeah, sure. Oh, cool. Yeah, I might need another thing or something. Okay, cool. So there we go again. You know, something like that. I didn't feel like I wanted to be like this. I am Outcast, and you know, this setup was okay, but you know, it really didn't maximize the thing, and Templar is still behind. Oh, I can't, because it's like, no, it's not what I wanted to do. It wasn't yeah. It was like, look, I'm just going to come out with shit that's going to work for you guys. Try it out. If you like it, cool. If you don't, you can put the middle finger up to me and say fuck off. I didn't lose any sleep. Like, I was hated from the get. When I first came out with my tank build, and I was rocking like 50k health, people hated me. But there I was in fucking vet trials, fucking like couldn't be touched. My healer was like, oh my god. I'm like, don't get me twisted, Mose. Don't get me twisted. And that's why I loved it. I loved the game because I just could do so many things. Because once you can dissect that spreadsheet, the character sheet, once you know how to dissect it, and you can see the numbers for the way they are, and it is different. To this day, there's not a lot of people, I guess, can see that numbers in that way, I guess. But I can literally see like one set of numbers over here replaced by the other set of numbers due to the Mundus or due to the bonus of the one set, or being replaced by trait selection. And I can dissect that. And that's how I view it. That's how I see the game. I see it in its pure essence of numbers. Like when I open a character sheet, all I see is the reflection of numbers. And it's hard to explain. It's like, yeah, the perfect's going to give you a 1%, 1.5% increase if you have the perfect version of this and you have this. So you'll get that boost. But on the other hand, you're going to suffer on this end. So there's, pros and cons to this, application. But if you bring it over here, then you're going to minimize, a couple minor things. I see it indifferently. I see it indifferent. I have no bias. I'm not subjected to a biased opinion based on, comparable sets because of the class system. If that makes sense. I don't know if I'm going to get in here. Some people just don't want to even queue these things. Martinez, what's up, brother? Yeah, so honestly, I don't know, man. It's just how I view things, how I break things down, I guess. At the end of the day, I don't know, man. I want to give it a few more minutes, but I've been here for 25 minutes queued up, and I still haven't gotten this bitch. But some people do not want to queue these. I'm going to be honest with you. I got 2 people. Sometimes you can be in queue forever. Alright. You know what? Fuck this. I'm not gonna get it. I'll be here probably all afternoon till it procs. Alright, whatever. Yeah, I dropped a group earlier, Martinez. Fucking tank wouldn't throw on grit. I'm like, good luck. Good fucking luck. You got a party finder for that faster queues. What? I was trying to do the Great Hunt. Extreme. So I was hoping I was gonna get a queue for it, but I'm thinking about farming that for the next couple of days. Oh my god! Oh my god! I hate the players in this game. I hate them. Fucking trash. Thank God for 5.0. I don't want to hear one person talk about healers or tanks after 5.0. Fucking... They got fundamentally fucked. Dude walks around without his... Dropping like a fucking marshmallow. God damn it. Never seen a community so fucking just being like, I know we're supposed to do that, but my DPS wouldn't be that high. I'm a DPSer. No, quick, hand me that fucking bottle. Like, oh my god, help me. My mouse just got stuck. Did somebody grab that? No. Should have been one of the DPS. I gotta keep up with the tank, bro. There he goes. Am I harsh? I'm a very fucking harsh asshole. Fucking hey, man. Fucking god, man. Now you see that? I got the aggro now because of the heals. See, do I DPS over this shit? Fuck no! What made me the best fucking one of the best gamers? Stick it to my fucking role, you dumb fuckers! Was I actually, like, better than a player? Only by fucking fundamentals! Now watch. Once I get aggro, I come to the tank. I don't run the opposite way. No, 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 no. Once again, I'm going to stick to the outskirts. That dude might want to move. If he would have put it to the outside, we wouldn't have had to move. Whatever. Once again, I'm gonna stack over here behind the tank. It's a fucking amazing, man. Swear to God, man. I'm gonna get screwed. There we go. What the hell did that? Take it! I'm dead. Oh, perfect face transition. Woohoo! Woo! No wipes from Mystic. I actually blame the DPS for that. Can somebody fucking watch this shit? I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm fucking dead. There's nothing I can do. I'm gonna drown. Oh my god! Spread out. Just spread out. We did it. Yes. Oh my god. Ah. Alright, rock on with your bad self. I do like this tank, though. Let's get him a little cleanse, though. Let's top him off. Cleanse him again. Look, it's DPS when I can. Fucking amazing, man, what fundamentals will do for you. I don't ever want to hear anybody fucking complain about fucking healing and bullshit. Fuck all of you. You know who makes games hard? Well, you know what makes video games hard? Stupid people. That's right, get the fuck out of here. This is my house, bitches. He didn't even have protect on. Anybody see that? That's right. Why am I all that? I'll tell you why I'm all that. Because I have a brain. Oh my god. Mystic's got a brain. We don't. Oh my god. Fucking, I love people. You got a party finder that fast for faster queues. Oh, got you. I swear to God. I honestly can't wait until these dumb fuckers start crying about healers and tanks. I actually cannot wait for it. I'm actually looking forward to it quite a bit. I don't want people complaining, man. Just do yourselves a favor and don't complain. Now look, I'm not going to do shit until he picks up. I want to run to him. Get out. Keep eye the tank. Keep the regen on him as part of the importance. Now once the ads start going on, reapply the dot on the main boss. Get a little bit of DPS down. Okay, once again, I got their attention. Wata. And believe you and me, there are just people. I don't get it. I don't know what happened. When I was growing up, it was just all so simple. What are you doing? Oh, I'm a healer. Okay, cool. So what are you doing? Are you doing, you know, mitigating healing? Are you doing direct heals? Are you a hide healer? Oh, I went this way. Oh, cool. What did this work out? This? No. You know, because of the, you know, aggro situation. Oh, yeah. Every tank would take, you know, they talk about homogenization. You know, is it homogenization when every tank needs to take threat? Is it homogenization when every healer needs a form of healing? Is it homogenization when every DPS needs a form of damage? Is it homogenization? I mean, come on, man. Everybody cries, it's homogenizing. They're homogenizing. Shut the fuck up. Oh, they're homogenizing. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. That, by the way, we're taking this tank. This is not going to be a tank at all. It's not going to function like a tank. It's going to wear a plate, but it won't be able to draw anything in for aggro whatsoever, because that's a mechanic that would make fucking sense. To reduce damage, why would we want them to do that? That makes no sense, because that would imply he's a tank. And yes, he is a tank, but we don't want him functioning like a tank. Because if we did, that would be homogenizing. Fucking idiots. The world's just gone stupid. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh dude, look at this. So you gotta love these dudes, man. Once again, I run towards him, not away from him. Top us off. Start some up. Amazing what a healer can do when he fucking just focuses heals. Oh my god, I'm a healer. Oh, thank you. Fucking. Somebody help me. Tom, 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 tom. But I can't DPS. Your DPS sucked anyway. Shut the fuck up. Here's my saying to you. If you were DPSing as a healer and actually thought you were good at it, holy shit, you were the suckiest motherfucker on the face of the planet to begin with. I'm sorry to break your bubble. Okay? Throwing a dot and two damaging abilities? Woohoo! Woo! Oh man. I'm in the Hall of Fame now, man. $840 when these guys are doing, I don't know, thousands. Shut the fuck up, man. Can I turn around? Oh shit. What's the DPS doing? Bingo. No deaths. Mr. comes in. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, guys. I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying, man. It's not rocket science. It really fucking isn't. It just fucking isn't. Play your fucking role and shut the fuck up. I wasn't a healer prior to 5.0. I was a DPS with healing capabilities. Man. What an outlook on life. I wasn't a tank until 5.0. I was a DPS that could take extra damage. It's like, wow, 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 wow. Oh my, oh my, oh my. Oh my, oh my, oh my. Wowzers. And people get into like, it's about the DPS and raids. It's like, what are you? I'm a main tank. You're gonna die. No, I'm not. If I die, it's the healer's fault. Well, the healer's DPSing. Well, he's gotta do both. So what do you gotta do? Just keep aggro and DPS. What if you lose aggro? It's the healer's fault. Oh my god. And here's DPS. Why aren't you guys doing anything? You guys have the easiest jobs. Do you heal or tank? No, because it's too easy. You know, it's so easy that I decided to DPS because, you know, that's where the skill comes in. You see? That's what I do. I'm about the DPS. That's where the real players play. It's like, man, so you never tank. No, why would I tank? It's for pussies. Why would you heal? Are you fucking saying something, son? God, man. God, oh God. Seriously. God, I gotta love it. Gotta love it. You don't know anything about what's off the GCD or on the GCD. I've been playing this game for... It's like, yeah, listen, man. You know it has the Holy Trinity. There ain't nothing... What are you talking about, Trinity? I don't know nothing about... No, now, I definitely know that you know nothing about the Trinity. Oh, man, what, you call me stupid? Hey, man, if the shoe fits, brother. I'm gonna kick your ass. You suck. I suck. Okay. You know I play every... It doesn't mean you're good. Get good, son. It's like, oh God, help me. Seriously, man. I worry about the state of MMOers these days. They're fundamentally flawed in every element. It's like, did you guys play Dungeons and Dragons? No. Shut the fuck up. Get out of my face. I'm a gamer, and I've never touched a D&D game. I can tell. You know everything derived in D&D. Everything comes down to math, right? What's math got to do with it? I have no idea other than it's the universal language. Language? Who speaks that? What are you gonna do? Say 2 + 2, bon voyage? No, come. Anyways, all I'm saying is you get a fundamental sense of how any role-playing game comes up with its functionality based on these principles, these mathematical principles that D&D introduced initially. Now, there are certain games and MMOs that have taken that and implemented and refined and, you know, implemented into the code structure, and other games have just used it as a principle and formulated their own interpretations of it. But if you have those fundamentals, you know, implemented, you can decipher things a lot easier. Especially, I don't know, fucking class roles. Go figure. I don't know, man. Somebody just dropped out of the sky. They're water in the river. Mystic having an argument with himself. Absolutely. Absolutely. This is what they sound like, though. This is what they sound like. They're like, oh, the DPS, I'm the tank. And I'm going to go ahead. I don't need that stance, you see, because I'm so goddamn good. I can hold aggro. And, whatever. What, that little ad that hit you? I ain't nothing. I died. Well, that's your fault, man. You didn't see that. Like, I could have picked it back up. You should have never dropped him to begin with. You're blaming me? Well, aren't you the tank? Well, yeah, but I'm not putting on that stance. Even though it increases my threat generation, it slows my DPS down. What the fuck are you asking me to do? I don't know. Try to be a tank? Did you ever think about reducing the damage? Why would I do reduce damage? It takes away damaging capabilities too. Well, until 5.0 comes out, you know, we're going to deal more damage. I won't have to worry about that. Yeah, because they simplify it. What you call me, simple? I'm not, no. Are you calling yourself simple? Well, it depends. Well, yeah, obviously. I don't know. This is how it is. This is the reality of the situation. I do the hardest content in this game. You see these achievements? You know what it takes to be here. I have to be the best I can be. Absolutely. How's your healers feel about that? They don't give a shit. Have you asked them? Their opinions don't matter. They know how to adjust. Oh, yeah. Cool. Excellent. Have you guys ever wiped? That was a myth. That was one time ago. We don't talk about that. Whatever, man. Oh, boy. I'm serious, guys. I'm just being serious. Anyways, I got to take a small break. But, nah. Like, the funny thing about it is, and I'm going to get back to it, it's not players, it's not the classes and the jobs that suck. It's the fucking players. 90% of the time, it's the fucking players that suck, not the jobs. Especially in ESO, we can't understand how to use a fucking multiplication or a divide. All they know how to use is plus and minuses. Don't carry the decimal. It's like, oh God. And these kids are in college. God help us. Oh, fuck. But anyways, all I'm saying at the end of the day is just get it together, man. If you play it the way it's supposed to be played, you can do so many cool things, right? But if you try to convert the class to something it's not meant to do, of course it's going to suck. This class sucks. I'm a scholar. They took away half my DPS, or I'm a scholar. They took half of my DPS abilities as a healer. Did you just say you're a healer? Yeah, but they took half my DPS abilities from me. Why should that matter? Oh, did you hear me? How can I damage anything? Well, how can you heal anything? Heal? We do that after. After what? After we laid the DPS. You know you're the bottom of the DPS pool. It don't matter. Why does it matter? Because we need every piece of damage we can get. But that's not calculated on the DPS checks. What the fuck are you saying, son? I don't know. The devs never intended you to have a significant impact in DPS. Are you calling me insignificant? No. Maybe in your current role? I don't know. Anyways, I'm taking a break. I'll be back a little bit later. But, whatever. Just... 5.0 bless us with the darkness. And cast the shadow so it may extinguish this false light that's been placed on everybody. Alright, I'm out. Mystic Raven, Mystics MMOs. Thank you guys for stopping in. I love every one of you guys. I really do. Have a nice day.